Push go live. Hot mess. Hello, everyone. I'm Mia Voss. Welcome to the show. And I have the holy trifecta of these two fabulous ladies pulling in for the big threesome. Let me just first of all warn you, if you're new here, I swear a lot. So there's that. Right? We all do. As we loop into this fabulous thing, first of all, I have Andy Lyons with me. Andy. Yay.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here in the hot seat with the
have
phenomenal, magnificent Mia Voss.
We haven't done a live stream together in a hot minute, hon. So we were just in Boston together. And then I came back from Boston to having V. Richardson in my house. And here she is also here. And, right after Harris was the candidate nominate, I guess, V and I went live, didn't we, hon?
We did. Hey, everybody. Back on the show. Yes. Good to be here with these wonderful, wonderful ladies. And I had a ball in Denver. But I had a ball at Mia's house, not at work. So just say that.
with my crazy cat Joey and Betty, and
with the cats, yes.
Yeah. And seriously, I'd come rolling in from being with Andy and Chet, who hopefully Chet will pop in as well too, with some good comments of and honestly, then rolling back to my house and having these conversations with you as well. V, as much as I know we're goofing, we're also going to do some pretty serious conversation, but we have to start with this. First, we have Christopher Dale in the audience. Hi, love. The man.
Chris.
Hi. So let's kick it off with this. I'm going to put her link in here. I cannot. It's Shop AIF, I think is her name.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. Well, this will tell
you. Rashonda.
Rashonda. Okay, here she goes. This is really good.
Oh. Hello and welcome back. A lot of you all have said, Rashonda, you're not a family reunion, but you stay bringing us together. And to that I say, thank you. Today, we're here to discuss something that has a lot of you all confused, but I'm here to help. It's really very simple. Let's check the board. We are in the fourth quarter. Bases are loaded, okay? In order for us to get a match point, I need the anchor to bring up a strike with the soccer balls at the big H. Do you understand what I'm saying? I need all the swing states to get on par to bowl a strike to hit a match. I don't understand why nobody's understanding this. In order for Governor Tim Walz and VP Harris to win in the 3rd to 9th of 6 quarters, I need you all to get up and go out and vote. That is the only way we can hit a triple-double axel and land in the water to swim the laps. Okay? I need everybody to be clear. Swing states, I need you to pick up your soccer balls, bowl a strike, hit a three-pointer, and then go down and circle back. Everybody's clear on their instructions? We need to win this. We got 2 days. Thanks.
I cannot think of anything better to start off.
I adore her so much.
I do too. And first of all, that's how I describe sports.
Yeah. So she said 2 videos ago that she knows nothing about sports, and you all are about to find out. And she did.
And she wasn't kidding. Oh, that is the perfect description for how we're feeling today. I need y'all to pick up the ball. It's the 6th quarter, right? Bases are loaded. Get out and vote. All right, we have some fun people here. We've got Helen. Hi, Helen. How are you? Hello.
Hey, Helen.
Hey, Helen.
See you. Yay. All right. So do you want to, I was thinking we could just roll it out here. We're talking about the most important information. Let's talk about, have you voted yet? Could anybody, as you're commenting, please say if you voted? Andy, V, talk about your voter status right now.
I voted in September. First day of early voting, September 20th, I believe it was. It took us exactly 6 minutes in and out. We had so much time that we stood in the vestibule and took pictures in front of the step and repeat board that they had there. My oldest son, Connor, went with me, and it was just wonderful. It was a great day, and we got it done early. And then my youngest son, who's 20, came home for the day for my birthday. And on the way home, he stopped and voted, but he was in line for a while.
Okay.
So it had sped up and got really crowded. And we went yesterday just to see the crowds, and I took a Snapchat of it.
You did.
And yeah, there were lines. There were lines. They didn't take long, but there were definitely lines to get in the building and out. So one of the electoral board members is a good friend of mine, and she came out and said they were averaging 1,000 an hour.
Wow. And tell them where you are, V.
I am in Loudoun County, Virginia, suburbs of Washington, D.C. We're about 45 minutes to an hour from downtown D.C. And yeah, that's where we are.
So interesting. Andy sent me a link that we're going to talk about too, which is your boyfriend, Andy, your other boyfriend, Mark Elias, that you just absolutely love, who is on, he's on Harris's group of attorneys, right?
Yeah, leading the attorneys at the legal team that she pulled together early on. Her team pulled together to make sure when the shenanigans start, not if, but when, she has people who understand what the laws are. And unlike 2020, we don't have as many challenges this time to be up against with all the shenanigans. We have state challenges. These attorneys will be there ready to shut that shit down.
I do love this. V and you and I've had several conversations about this as well, that this is not the rodeo of 2020. Like, no, I mean, we are not going to be running up into it. I know there's fear on that, which I heard this today. I said, how are you feeling? And the person said, nauseously optimistic. And I was like, oh shit, that's me. But I do feel like there is preparation for it. They're not here to fuck around this time around.
No, and they know who the governors are. They know who
Right.
the attorney generals are, secretary of state, who the people are that are making the decisions. And they know the governors are not here to mess around either. They want a smooth transition as well. And so the fight is even harder. As much as the right, the MAGA Republicans want to sound like, oh boy, we've got this secret. We're all going to, we have the legal minds and the brilliance on our team.
We really do. And Christopher is in Florida. Thank God. He says he already voted with his mom in Florida on the second day. And actually, I believe, yes, Christopher, I believe you actually did see someone that was wearing some kind of garb. We talked about that on Friday too, of this voter suppression and the intimidation of election. Is it election judges that are there at the ballots? I know, V, you've done that before. Like when you're there at the voting polls.
Yeah, they have poll watchers.
Poll watchers.
Yeah. But because of the blatant suppression and voter intimidation and voter manipulation that's going on in this county, they are having lawyers sit at each polling place now. Just ready.
Good. I know that his name is Aaron Ammons, who's our county clerk, I believe, in Champaign, and I shared this on Friday as well, too. We had some folks acting up. Now, they've basically said, we don't care what you're wearing or who you're voting for. You just cannot show up and have it, and you can't show up in this garb. And it's only in certain states, but I think just in general, show up and vote. You don't need to make a big thing. I love that you can, take a picture and do your selfies and so forth, but really just get in there and get your vote done, get your sticker.
You know what, Mia? Yeah. I didn't realize, I was so naive. All these years I've been voting. I mean, I remember how excited we were to vote for Clinton, for crying out loud. And then Obama, I show up, I got this big Obama button on me, like, yay, Obama, to vote. And they're like, no, you can't, ma'am. And I'm like, I missed that memo. I felt really stupid. But
I didn't know it. I didn't know it till Christopher told me.
Yeah. Go up with all your...
And with your garment right now, you really can't. Christopher says someone was carrying a huge flag across the street from the polling place, walking a dog. And I know you did. Christopher, I believe you did say something to this person as well. It was a young man, but still, it's intimidation. Hey, my friend Kevin is here in Illinois. Hey, Kevin. They voted. He and Charlotte voted. The second week early voting was available in Illinois.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yes, and I know. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Chet and I got to vote. We got
your turn.
First day it became, it was the 19th of October. We kind of ran down. And we heard there was a big line in our sweet little town of Andover, north of Boston. And so,
Yeah,
but
it's
it
not to
felt
see.
wonderful. And of course, we were very excited to vote for a very special thing here in Massachusetts, which is legalizing psilocybin, as well as voting for Harris Walls
Yeah.
and all the
Boop,
good
boop,
things.
boop, boop. Yep. Oh, yeah. Mushrooms, folks.
But I want to remind folks, even in a state like Massachusetts, which is clearly blue as blue can be, we've got a
Mhm.
few outliers, but we're mostly blue. Your vote counts. You need to add your vote to the roster of total votes.
Absolutely.
So nobody can say, geez, Massachusetts was a little down. There's evidence of how we MAGAs could have won that state type of thing. No, your vote counts. It needs to be part of the tally. And frankly, it's your civic duty. You need to show up and put, I mean, it's, you have to renew
every
your
election and
yeah,
every
you have,
election.
exactly. Just like you have to renew your insurance. You can't drive your car without your insurance. You can't have a home without house insurance. All the things you have to do. You got to get your dogs for the rabies shots, all the
Yep.
things. Just like that, your duty is to your community is to vote.
And really, I mean, we're going to talk about voter suppression a little bit too. Obviously, there was a huge issue in Georgia recently where 3,300 ballots, mail-in ballots or absentee ballots had not arrived. I mean, the one woman who really kind of shouted it out, she's flying home. She said, fuck this. She's in New York. I love that. I love that she has the means to do that.
Me too.
Let me pull in a few more comments. Helen, she says she voted a little early, but she would love to be able to see this kind of stuff, looking for positivity. Absolutely. And let me just show you this as well too. This is iwillvote.com. Thank you for this link, Andy. This is such a great one. This one really puts this all together. So if you haven't gone to vote yet, this is great information for you. If your shows with a resident, finding the voting or drop-off location, check to see if you're registered. It's a little late, but it's okay. Register. I don't think that you can now, right? I don't think you can register to vote now. Can you? You can still register where you vote on election day. Please make sure to see. Look at, I answered my own question.
Well, it really depends on your state. I
It
think
does.
some places you have until that day of. I mean, not here in Massachusetts, but
that's what I'm thinking. But you're right. It really is state by state, which is why I love this. So see how this is popping up for Colorado. And I really want to encourage everyone to pick a friend, pick someone in your life that you're thinking is kind of sitting on the fence or loves to do the phrase. And we lost. Oh, there's V. There's my girl. Sorry, honey. I was like, where'd she go?
Thank you.
Pick someone that you know says they are not into politics. That just should not exist anymore. Everybody's shaking their head. Not into politics. Politics are into you. And the less you're into politics, the more you are going to be controlled by that system. Absolutely. And I mean, unless you're at the top of the food chain, wealthy white guy, you're going to get affected by it. I mean, you're going to get affected by it too. What were you going to say, Andy?
Well, I would just like to add a really important point too, given what we're up against in this election. You have to take a side. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented. And let me tell you, that's Elie Wiesel, Holocaust survivor. And I have to tell you, we have to remember that we are here for the rights of everyone, all the human rights.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing I love about VP Harris is that is the message that she really preaches, which is, I'm here for you, even if you didn't vote for me, which I love. Oh, and I see some comments here too. V, thank you for responding. That's my darling friend, Adam. But let's say hi to, let's say hi first of all, Mitchell is there. Everybody please wave at Mitchell. Give him a big hug. That is Kevin and Charlotte's son, whom I adore. Thank you for being here today. And I love that Mitchell is working a really great new job that has hiring for all different abilities. And it's wonderful. Kevin, post a link in here too, by the way, if you want. Christopher saying it's supposed to be 150 feet from the polling location. And this guy was 50 feet from the door. Dude, the fuck out of here. Sorry for all your friends that are watching that aren't used to my swearing, but there you go. Brent is here from Canada. Brent Manuel, thank you for being here.
Hi, Brent. So happy to see you, my love.
Now, another Canadian, as I just mentioned, is Adam, and sorry, V, it's covering your face, love. He just said he landed in Houston. The Uber driver asked me if I had voted yet. Can't because I'm Canadian. He then went on and on and on and on about how Harris is awful, and then said it actually doesn't even matter because all the polls that show that Trump is ahead by so much, it's basically over. He's obviously only seeing the MAGA-funded polls. Then he said, if not, it's going to be a civil war, and I'm ready. Wow. Do y'all want to comment on that, or just should we all just do the
You glow, V.
yeah, gross misinformation? Yeah.
It's awful, and I mean, I know I'd like to hear from V. What do you think, V?
So our friends and I went as far as creating a new panel called the Informed Voter Panel. And I invited 12 public officials, friends of mine. 8 of them showed up, and a whole bunch of people showed up. And we had no idea that anybody was going to show. We were ready to talk to 2 people if they showed up. And the misinformation is staggering. Okay. So we had those public officials that came and showed up and sat on our panel to set the record straight. And there were a lot of folks in the audience that said, "Oh, I didn't know that."
Really?
So there you go.
Like what type of things, V?
They didn't know who their local officials were.
Mm.
They didn't know what who was running locally. And if they knew who was running, they didn't know what their platforms were. They did not know who their state and who their House and Senate representatives are for their district, the district that we were sitting in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were covering the basics. We weren't getting any more difficult than that.
Right.
So we had a mayor there. We had 2 Congress people there. We had 3 state senators there, 3 House people there. I mean, it was, and we had a representative from Gen Z there.
That's
So
incredible.
we covered all of our bases. And basically, what we need to do is take the Informed Voter Coalition on the road to each state because people don't know. And they're not going to tell you they don't know.
No, they don't. I will tell you, and that was last Monday, and I just love that you put that together, and I love that I think you said even one person that couldn't make it, and she still sent somebody, and that is representation as well. I love my friend Mira is here. She's in Kenya right now. That's in my travel group too. Thanks for tuning in, love. And she'll be back in time. Will you be back in time to vote, or did you do an absentee ballot? Curious on that one. Let me also pull this up real quick too, with that in mind, V, with what you're talking about. I'm going to change. Hold on a second. Present. We're talking about ballots and not knowing the candidates. And are you all still kind of surprised by that? Does that still kind of make you go,
I'm
okay, okay,
not.
okay?
Not after this experience.
Gotcha.
Because before we started Informed Voter, I used to say to Mary, my good friend Mary, Mia, that I've mentioned to you, she and I started Informed Voter. So before Informed Voter, I would always say to Mary, there's no way these people are this clueless. These are educated folks. There's no way that they don't know who their mayor is.
Right.
Or, I mean, we took it even lower than that. We said, okay, this is your mayor. Do you know what your mayor does every day? No? Okay, let her tell you. And so she talked about what she does every day. And they were like, wow, we didn't know. Right? Man.
You are onto something.
I live in a county that is, first of all, one of the most wealthiest counties per capita in the United States. That's one thing.
Wait a minute. Where do you live?
Loudon County, Virginia.
Because I thought Albemarle. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then the second thing is a lot of wealth, a lot of banks. We have more banks per capita than we have homes almost. Wow. And the third thing is we have the most educated citizenry in the nation. So if you're talking just about that, Why don't y'all know who your representatives are and what they're saying in your name?
I think it's in on either side of this disconnect of either I don't have a lot of wealth. I'm just got my head down on that this blue collar job, fly over states, Rust Belt, that type of thing, or I've got everything covered. I don't need to understand it. And as you're talking, ladies, I just wanted to yell. This is the Blue Voter Guide that I talk about all the time. I think they're a little worried that I'm stalking them, and that's okay. Can't be mad at it. I am so fascinated by this. This was see how we had 58 on our Denver ballot. I ended up talking to my little accountant gal the other day. I talked to my woman that works at the shelter where I volunteer, and sent this information to people because they're like, I got to sit down with a glass of wine tonight and go over my ballot. I'm like, well, here you go. Like you can do on the types. Then please feel free to share this. It's bluevoterguide.org. We're going to give you a couple other resources as well too. But look how interesting this was. And Christopher, you brought this up at this point. Understanding the ballot language is key. Most people gloss over and don't take the time to understand what the yes or no might mean. And it's also, I believe, at times very purposefully confusing.
Yeah.
Does yes mean no to the yesing no? Yes.
So that was one of the major topics at our event was, hey, you know, when you go to vote and you turn over your ballot and it talks about these amendments, yeah, those are important. What you got to know is those are already decided upon and funded, but you, the voter, determine whether it goes forward or not. Yes or
That's
no.
right. That's right. That's right.
So they have to know. You have to know. That's why we say the voter has the power, but we don't realize that. And that's one of the things we talked about at our function.
Exactly. Everything that I love that you all were able to explain, either one for what this position is, what does that do again, to things like this amendment, remove right to bail in first degree murder cases. Got to tell you, I had a hard time with this because it's saying it was recommended yes by Colorado Dems, Boulder progressives, but I'm also a big fan of this Working Families Party. So, you know, it's really taking the time to look at these things. So again, I know we're talking 2 days out, but if you haven't gone to vote yet and I know you're going to, right? The back page is key, says Christopher. That's what she said, right?
The back page is key. Turn that ballot over.
That's right. Exactly. I mean, it really is. But you can, if you even want to go through this and you want to mark what everything is, take something with you that is going to give you, don't you agree, ladies? Like to give you like, gosh, I forgot what this is. What's this amendment about? Because it is so confusing. But you know what? So what? Shit's hard. Did you die? No. Go vote.
Well,
that's all I
for
have to say.
years, and I've been in this county for 25 years, and every cycle. Oh, by the way, Virginia has elections every single year. We don't get breaks.
Really?
On the voting day is November 5th. November 6th, we're going into special election for the state Senate.
Really?
So it never stops. I'm not even going to get a nap.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
So that's the first thing. And the second thing is talking about Virginia is that, sorry, I forgot my thought. It'll come back.
Oh, what were we? See, nah, don't ask a bunch of menopausal women.
I know.
Well, I'll just jump in and say Alicia Keys was talking all about this with her speech last night. She spoke before Michelle Obama came out.
She did? Oh, I didn't know that.
And I'm going to put into the private chat because YouTube won't let me put the link in there for folks. But it's an incredible speech. And it's all about this. It's all about the fact that why you vote. Think of the ancestors. Think about how many times, 4 different times it took women to get the vote passed. And even then they had to deal with all the shenanigans, let alone the black vote. Think of the ancestors. Think of your vote as a gift and how much it matters to your children going forward, to honor the folks behind us. There's just so much involved in the gift of our vote. And it tells people like Elon Musk and all the billionaires, I don't care how much money you throw out. This is an equal playing field, our vote. It matters my vote matters just as much as the billionaires' vote.
Here's a really great point too. Christopher Dale, you should just be on here. So many judges in Florida are either listed as Republican or Democrat, but you have to look at their bios to see how they rule. It's all this. It's the same all the way down to county commissioners. Absolutely, it really is. And again, I'm not saying this is always going to be easy, but I'm saying like this is how we got into. I was saying this on Friday, and a lot of the problems that we're in right now are a lot of these judges just got handed right back in. And if you're not paying attention, even Googling to see, have they been embroiled in some kind of weird thing? You know, I look at anybody who had anything to do. I can't vote for Aurora, but I was paying attention to that when I was living there because that's where Elijah McClain was killed, murdered. And so you bet that I was watching the mayor's race, the sheriff's race, anything that had to do with the authorities in Aurora, Colorado.
Well, and V and Mia, I did some research before coming on too about, well, what prevents people from voting? And there's just so much fatigue of why bother? Because it's not what I want to have done is never being addressed. No one's listening to me. It's someone else's game. Why bother? And I think what Kamala has done is instilled a passion of a bigger purpose and taken that dismayed and discouraged feeling of why bother into, I want to be part of this movement. I don't want to be left behind. I want to be part of making a change. I mean, they knocked on 850,000 doors yesterday in Pennsylvania. That is a movement like we've never seen, a ground game like we've never seen. But we have these, the discouraged group of folks, understandably, because no one has been given a flying F about what their concerns are to help them out.
They had 4 busloads of people and bust them up to Pennsylvania all this weekend, and they were knocking on doors like crazy. It was phenomenal to see. So I saw something before I got on here that if when Kamala wins Pennsylvania, she wins the whole thing.
Yes.
But
it's going to come down to Pennsylvania.
But V, doesn't that piss off the rest of the states?
I was just going to say
that here we go. We're counting on you, Pennsylvania. I got my, it just means like the rest of us are like biting our nails and going, oh my God, that's too much. And it's too much pressure on them to have that level of power.
I don't know if the other states are mad. I was kind of relieved this cycle because usually everybody has to come through Loudoun County, Virginia.
Oh,
everybody. And 45 didn't, touch his corroded toes in our county once. But he went to Salem, Virginia.
Right.
Which is a Republican stronghold. He went there. Nobody showed up, but he went there. And but a lot of these candidates didn't come through here. But back in 20, oh my God, they were living all over the grass and up in trees. And I mean, we couldn't get rid of them. So I didn't feel bad about that.
Yeah. Okay. That does make sense of not having their presence there. And, for us, it has been great. Well, V, you got to actually go to, I always want to say the elliptical, which I know it's not.
Ellipse, the ellipse. Yeah.
It's my bad. But you got to see VP Harris speak or hear her speak the other day.
I did, live in a living color. My girlfriends and I was actually 6 of us. So we actually had VIP seats. Okay. And some of us couldn't leave work early. So we didn't leave Virginia until about 3:00. So by the time we got downtown, we had to stand in the line with everybody else. So we just cut line. We cut line and got all the way up front. And by the time we cut line and got all the way up front, we could not get to our seats. So we stood as close to the front as we got really close to the front as we could. And we just stood up for 4 hours. It was brutal, but it was absolutely phenomenal
and encouraging.
Yeah.
And
when she came out, it was like, You could feel it in your chest.
Yeah.
We just all had chills.
You know, V, I've been watching, of course, a lot this last week. I mean, J-Lo was amazing. Cardi B, Alicia. I mean, everybody's been going and speaking at these incredible rallies. And here are performing artists who are used to having everybody going, oh my God, it's you, right? They're like, I can't begin to tell you how wonderful the vibe is here. I've never felt anything like it. It's electrifying in this room.
It was. It absolutely was. And I just can't even describe the feeling of standing there in the shadow of the monument was right there. The shadow of the White House was right there. She was standing in front of the White House on the stage. You could see it in the back. And I was like, this is my hometown. You know, I rarely get to see this part of it. So it was great.
I think I lost Andy there for a second. And while we're talking, y'all, this is the npr.org. This is local voting election. I put the link here. I think it's only showing up on YouTube, but I'll make sure to put the links here on the Facebook. But I love this too. Like, this is the stuff we're talking about, V. I mean, for us, you've been steeped in this. You've been involved in politics since you could get out there and walk and drive, right? So,
right, exactly.
You know, so this is old hat for you, but there's some of us who have, I was looking back in Facebook memories, and it was interesting to see how, and Andy had the same experience too. Like, we have been doing shit. Okay. We have been involved, but it just not to the degree that we need to right now. I feel like this is like the Brady Bunch. I love it. Not to the degree that we have and that we need to continue. And again, I really want to encourage anyone who's watching this or watching this in the replay, talk to your people. That's what I've been doing. I've been having these conversations. Now, let's make fun of some folks a little bit if you're ready, because it wouldn't be my show if we weren't busting on someone. I went to get my nails done the other day, and I adored this little shop. And unfortunately, the owners, they can't vote. They're how long have they been here? I can't remember. But anyway, they can't vote, but they're running a great business. And, there's this Vietnamese man who just kept saying Trump is strong. And I just was like, dude, Trump's an idiot. I go, so, but that's just, they have Fox on in the background, and that indoctrination, one as a non-white man, like, dude, where do you think you're going to end up on the side of this if you don't end up getting kicked out of this country? I'm worried about it from working in construction, for my friends, for people's businesses. This is going to affect our economy. So needless to say, I won't be going back to that nail shop. And the wife was very, very quiet, but it was so interesting to see. He just said, Kamala is quiet. I'm like, in what fucking world is Kamala quiet? But okay, sir. And put some respect on her name. It's VP Harris. But anyway, right?
And it's like when...
Thank you, Christopher.
Number 45 was speaking at Madison Square Garden. Fox was all, peace and love, strong, upbeat, positivity. And then when Kamala did her powerful speech that V saw, and we all saw at the ellipse, her closing argument, it was... Fox was saying weak, fascist, across the bottom. It's just, it doesn't matter. And this is what fascism does. It takes what is reality and they do the spin. That's not what you're seeing over here.
It is. And we've talked about this too. We really need to keep an eye on legacy media, mainstream media. I mean, Washington Post, go, please. I can't. I had to.
What did Brian Taylor Cohen say on that wonderful...
Oh, which one?
Video that we watched with him and Mark Elias and Jamie Raskin. He said, look, corporate media will not come to save the day. We as independent folks have to save the day. Our vote will save the day. Our action will save the day. Our activism and our fighting for democracy will save the day. But boy, we're not going to see it in any legacy or corporate media.
We're not. Even just the wording, and V pop in on this too. You can see the wording is just so interesting when they'll say I don't know what they're doing with this protective bubble wrap situation around Trump of just describing him in these, oh, that's my drunk uncle kind of mentality. Like, no, this is really dangerous. And I really appreciated that Harris came out after he made the threatening comments about Liz Cheney, I mean, don't even start of like trying to act like that's not. I mean, he's gotten his cronies to go after Gretchen Whitmer, Haitians. He's gotten them to go after our election officials, our Shay Moss and Ruby. I can't remember her last name. That he sent everybody and doxed these poor women that were just working as as volunteers. So no, it wasn't just a cutesy little thing, but she really did. I appreciate that VP Harris was like, this is dangerous rhetoric, and stop talking about how he looks. Although I was making fun of him with that whole mic situation 2 days ago. I also making fun of the fact that Albuquerque was like, you can GTFO, you're not landing here, sir. You're not staying here. He owes them $500,000. There's, and I also just saw today, to be gossipy, if you want some more tea, that Trump's lost, his stock has lost. Gosh, like
oh wow, I haven't checked DJT in a while. Let me just go to
yeah,
that.
DJT has dumped and dropped now, and also
oh no, it's doing fine.
I just saw it like from like about an hour ago. They did say that. So let me see if I can find that.
Yeah, so it's up to 30. It closed at $30. I was cheering when it was down at 16. I thought,
Yes.
okay, now we're going to go down and then it's going to go into the under $1 and he's going to be out.
Yep.
30, he's still $30 a share. He's still making money, but
but
why do we care? He's going to be in jail. So he's not going to be able to enjoy it.
Yes, I agree. Christopher, thank you. You said I could watch Jamie Raskin read the phone book. It's just that's all there is to it. He's so kind and gentle, and I don't know if you all remember him, to give him a good nod. I mean, this is a man who had lost his son right before January 6th to suicide. It was heartbreaking. He's since then also been diagnosed with cancer. He's still showing up. We need to protect him at all costs. Right? We need to bubble wrap him. So he's showing up quite a bit. I'd be interested to see him on Bill Maher, because I'm not a fan of Bill Maher.
Me neither.
But I know that
he
Bill
would have
Maher,
helped his own.
He would help. Absolutely.
And he's been to 27 states in the last couple of weeks. He's just a rock star.
He really is. And in this interview that I posted the link here to, where it's Raskin and your guy, Mark Elias, as well as Brian BTC, as I call this kid, Brian Tyler Cohen. I mean, this is the antidote to legacy media, is watching this guy interview people. But Jamie Raskin brought up that he actually had been one of the ones to introduce trying to get rid of the electoral college. And in this interview, again, Andy, you had turned me on to this one. They really do dive into that as well, too. Because I'm going to be frank with you. I don't exactly understand it. Seems wonky. Doesn't seem good. But they're really getting up there and getting the number, I think it's 270 that they need to get to start the work. Andy, you want to jump into that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's so exciting, because Jamie is spearheading this thing called the National Popular Vote. And I have a link here. I'm going to put into the comments. Into the private chat for you to pop up. Hold on, wait for it. And this is really fascinating. Check this out, folks. So what this is it's it's an agreement among the states to elect the president via the popular vote. I know it seems like we're going ass backwards, but it's up to 207 or 207 whatever had to agree that, and we have to get up, as you said, to 270, where we can now go back to the popular vote winning, not the electoral vote. Very exciting. What do you think about that, Fee?
This is going to be good.
The electoral college needs to be eliminated.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Yep.
We now know Jamie is spearheading, which is great. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I heard that. And also, if you all remember that Jamie Raskin was the one that came to Representative Crockett's defense when
the big bad built
big bad built butch body.
Well, he laughed too, I gotta admit.
He was dying laughing.
Right.
He had to contain his laughter.
Yes.
So I became a fan of his when I saw that, how he came to her defense and he backed her up.
He did.
So yeah, I know he's out there doing the hard work. So that's my 2 cents on that.
And
Mia, do you think you could pop the national popular vote
I'm
link?
going to. You
Oh,
got me.
good, because I think
Yes,
it's so
yes, yes.
exciting to
Yes,
see
yes,
that.
yes. Let's take a look at that too.
And
And for those of you who aren't familiar, what we were just referencing this, and if you're not, I don't know what rock you've been under, but um, the context for Jasmine Crockett, who's a representative out of Texas, kind of snapping at Marjorie Taylor Greene, I can't even say her name with a straight face, is because they had kept them waiting for hours and they finally decided to show up really late. And then she's like, well, do you know why we're here? And she's like, well, I don't know. Do you? You can't see through your eyelashes. This is what Marjorie Taylor Greene had said to her. And then she's like, okay, we're going to let this slide. And I believe that Presley also may have said something as well too. I feel like there was another representative, or maybe Ilhan. Are like, are you going to let them talk like this? And so then she used her alliterative kind of slam back at her. Hold on, I will share this real quick. And so that's what we're talking about of Jasmine Crockett.
Well, we're also talking about what are we going to do once the election is over, and I don't know if it's optimism. Of course, we have to stay hopeful always, but I think the signs are out there that Kamala will win, whether it's skinny or a blowout, in spite of what a very small part of the population is saying.
Can I stop you real quick on this? Just at this link that Andy just showed with us, look at these action items. Speaking about what are we going to do? Like, let's start picking. I have this whole list that I made at the Lion's Den of, as we sat and having either cocktails or coffee, you take your pick. These, and I will type this up so we can have it, but the electoral college, abolishing the electoral college. But I love this. Look at these action items right here. Hopefully you can see it. Georgia, ask your state legislatures. National Popular Vote's Facebook page, their Twitter page, send a letter to the editor. And then it gives this whole information about where they're at. They're look at that. Well, we don't have, Stacey's not a representative anymore though, right? Oh, you can't see it.
Abrams? No.
Mm-mm. So they need to update this, and I don't know why it's not going through here. Oh, it's not sharing the right one. Anyway, yes, keep going, Andy and V.
And I'm just thinking, and V, we love the idea. Here's what I always find is missing. We talk amongst ourselves about all the things we'd like to do. We start to create the action. I just wish more. I know this is a fantasy. More leaders would show up giving us better marching orders is what I think. I need a Harris campaign staff, right? Who are going to tell me on the ground, here's what you need to do to get rid of this electoral vote. Here's what you need to do to fix this other situation that we have going on and to codify Roe. And this is what, so that we all have our list of marching orders and what can you do each day? What can you do each week? What can you do each month? What can you do each quarter? What can you do each year?
Here's what I was talking about too, by the way, you can click on each state with this handy guide. Colorado, send a letter to the editor, submit an op-ed. So I love action items.
Can you go to Virginia? I'm just curious.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you bet. Let's go to each one. Mm-hmm.
And until Brian, so when they were talking about the electoral college, right? Chet said, well, how do we fix it? And how, and so Brian Taylor Cohen asks Jamie, well, how do you fix this? And this is the first time I heard about the national
Me too.
vote.
Yeah, this is the first time I've heard of it.
Y'all, these are women that have their finger on the pulse. So this is what we're talking about, the sharing of information, because we cannot silo this out and be like, well, I know things and I'm not going to talk about it. But this is not how we get things done. This is not the divine feminine age of the Aquarius that we're looking for, folks. We got to share this out and have these conversations and get people excited. I'm sure your kid, Andy, was like, those guys ever shut the hell up? Because all we did was just talk for hours about how excited we were about finding and learning stuff. Right?
Exactly. And I think it might be a good time to bring in our video from the Crooked Media guy talking about people just don't know. Here we
Yeah,
are, the
you know, and
perfect
it's
example.
I mean,
yeah,
like I said, that's why we created the informed voter panel.
Yes.
yes,
And I mean,
Yes.
we told them that night, this is not the last session. This is not the last session we're hosting. We're going to keep bringing in these elected officials, and we're going to keep bringing in senators and congressmen and state senators and state representatives to parcel out this information. It's a lot. And I don't think it's because they didn't have boots on the ground trying to give us this information. It's just that we got to cover a lot of territory. So that's why it's up to people like us and other folks on the street and these influencers that are trying to get this information out as well.
And
I
speaking
think-
of, oh, go ahead.
I think the good guys are outnumbering the bad ones.
I hope so, and I feel like it as well. I did feel very discouraged when we, you know, start hearing about how Russia really paid a lot of people to interfere. I'm fucking pissed about it, honestly.
Yeah.
And
You know.
China.
Yeah, they really did, and these people know they took money. Hopefully, I feel like my connection might be a little wonky. All right, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
This is a good bitch slap.
Right now, what is Trump promising? He's promising some kind of a hell czar who will possibly revoke safe, effective vaccines, a miracle, one of the greatest achievements in human history, gone. He is saying he's going to get rid of the Department of Education. He is going to get rid of vaccine mandates, and he's going to cut education funding in half. These are toxic positions. But there are people right now in your life, there are friends of friends who are not aware of just how serious this is. They are imagining a Trump administration like the first Trump administration. That was awful. But it was still an administration in which it was staffed by the kind of Republican institutionalists that prevented Trump's worst excesses. Those people are gone. It's RFK Jr.'s all the way down now. And there are people in your life that don't understand that. And I genuinely believe that if over the next 3 to 4 days, when you're hearing this, enough of us beseech the people we know to explain why we feel so deeply about this, why we are scared and we want them to vote with us, I think we will win. We talk all the time. How is it possible? How is it possible? Why is it so close? Why is it so close? Because not enough people know. There's a lot of reasons for that. There's a lot of very frustrating, long-lasting reasons for that. But if they know, they'd be with us. That is a reason to be frustrated, but it is a reason to be hopeful. Get this in front of the people in your life. This is our last chance.
Could you hear that through the whole thing? I'm that kid.
Absolutely.
He just
who was that?
it's Andy, you know it. Crooked Media is the name of the source. And then Andy, if you don't mind sending that link again, and I'll pop it in the comments. That kid is he's on Pod Save America, right? Were your boyfriends on, V?
I don't know. I just pay attention to him.
Yeah,
I don't know
she
who
loves
else.
John Favreau. He's on Pod Save America, right, Andy?
Hey, I was just doing my job on it somewhere, probably on Twitter or Instagram or doing something, and I saw it. And
I mean, and y'all, I mean, to really reiterate what he said, and when Andy said that to me, I go, this is what we're talking about. This exactly here is that, like, beseech the people that you know. This is no joke right now. This thing of like vote like your life depends on it. Your life depends on it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's going to be dismantling anything to do with the USDA, if worm in the brain Kennedy gets his hands on that. John, hi Kristen. John Lovett. Oh, Kristen's here. Hi, darling. It's
John
good to
Lovett.
see you.
Okay.
Yep, that's his name. And oh, thank you for that too, Andy. I appreciate that. Kristen, if you have any links that you love, I know that you are super active, and I love when is it Eli Fennell that is it Eli? What's his name that we loved over from the Google Plus days? He does a lot of really great postings. These are just people that we know randomly, but a lot of soliloquy, wonderful postings that get your mind thinking about it. But this kid specifically, this talk right here is what we're talking about. It's that urgent.
110%.
And I think I do feel like with this whole thing with the Electoral College, when you come down to these swing states, it does make people feel, yep, it is Eli. He does have a really great content. It does make people feel like, why should I care? And we just from here on out, and I think that's why we lost why we lost the House in 2022. Can you imagine if we'd had it for the last 2 years instead of the bullshit that we've been putting up with?
We
You know
would
what
have
we
been
would have gotten
we
done?
would have been so much further ahead.
I know.
Oh my gosh,
I
every time I think
in my-
about
in
that.
my-
Well, listen, I'm just so grateful that Joe stepped down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you had someone who was so prepared. back when
It was shocking. I mean, I know I'd had a few friends that were, we talked about it. I didn't want to see it from some folks like George Clooney or Stephen
No.
King. I'm like, until he steps down, shut the hell up.
Right.
Is really how I felt. And then when he did, I'm like, okay, let's go. And
And what-
meeting like the celebrities, my friends had really, really good thoughts on that too. But I was just more like, I'm not going to put that out there until he steps down. And then did we not all hit the gas?
Oh, God.
Yep.
Well, and we won't ever forget when Kamala stepped on the stage in front of her campaign team at headquarters that day, practically. And you saw it. You saw her totally embodied, like, I am so ready for this. So ready. And you look back at her whole career, it all prepared her for this brilliant moment. And I was reading a wonderful comment by that great poll guy on, I have a Twitter list. So I don't go on Twitter, the whole thing. I just go on to a feed I have designated people who I want to hear from. And so Simon Rosenberg, he has been following polls for forever and all, but he has said, this is just arguably the best run and most remarkable presidential campaign in modern history
I've ever seen.
Think of the degree of difficulty this year has been, and their ambition and execution has been off the charts. And then he said, there's our remarkable candidate who has answered history's call these last few months in such a powerful and inspiring way. She has left it all out there on the playing field for us. We need to do so for her in these closing days. I was telling Mia when I saw her on SNL, Saturday Night Live, looking like she's just like, oh yeah, just a regular day. She's been campaigning her patootie off, and she shows up there sparkling, big smile, energetic, ready to go, and
joyful.
And joyful. And
Still
Chet turns to me.
Still joyful.
I know. And Chet said she's channeling, like, it's coming from pure integrity. It's coming from her soul, this energy right through her. It's so beautiful. We're very, very lucky.
It is wonderful. And the thing that I love too, and that she is going to welcome people coming in. And I can't wait to see what administration she comes up with. I mean, like,
well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because when one of her chief folks from her social media team, that's who's been, oh my God.
Yeah.
Right? If every person on that social media team doesn't get a cabinet post or in that administration, I will protest for them.
Yeah. Yeah. We need to get their names and start tracking it down.
Oh my God. Just phenomenal performance.
Yeah. They
They're
really
24/7. 24/7.
alone.
They don't go to sleep.
Yeah. TikTok alone. That's absolutely right.
Over 5 million followers on TikTok.
Yeah. It is wonderful. And then I love to see that, Walls's campaign, they kind of, they play off of each other really well too. I don't know if you saw the video of him kind of like bouncing out of the plane and like bouncing along and jumping onto the thing. And I'm just, he was, look at this guy, you know what I mean? And I love the I'm rubber, you're glue kind of mentality that's been going on. And it has from the start of like Tampon Tim. All right, take another crack. Keep going. What else you got? Oh, joyful, laughs too much. All the different things. I love the whole thing when somebody says, oh, I know that what's his name? Darth Vader blew up Dantooine. No. Where's my nerd? Where's Matthew? I got to ask him. What did Darth Vader blow up? Somebody help me out here. The planet that Princess Leia's. Well, he blew up the Death Star, but he also blew up Princess Leia's hometown. God damn it!
When the retrieval button doesn't work.
No, especially when it has. You know what? I need my Star Wars card just grabbed immediately. Somebody's gonna pop it in here. And they said, but you know what? I just don't know that much about that Princess Leia, so I don't know if I'm gonna vote for her. Like, that's the kind of thing we're talking about here right now. Like, well, he blew up all this shit and is kind of a hot mess. I mean, like this guy at the nail salon. I'm like, my God, he can't be any less for you, sir, as an immigrant in this country. And
But
you,
think,
all you
but
can
think
say
about
is
it.
be strong. Christopher Tatooine. No, that's where Luke Skywalker is from. That part I got
Me,
it.
I've been giving a lot of thought though to your salon guy. First
Yes.
of all, just think, he's been indoctrinated as a man. He's coming with his misogyny. It actually is probably going up against such severe indoctrination within him that may even be unconscious that he cannot vote for a woman, and he sure as heck can't vote for a black woman. So he's going to start making excuses for the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. It really, but just to say that Alderaan, by the way, with 2 A's, Alderaan. God damn. I need to self-flagellate a little bit tonight on that one. I feel badly. That's not a good feeling for me. No, and I agree. I think that is the indoctrination, y'all, of that's what they are seeing and what has been presented. And again, this is where this mainstream media and this legacy media has just had this ability to shape the narrative. I mean, and the fact that if you go through and look at, and we looked at this today, the thing I sent you from Robert Reich about how he basically just sent did a post like, is Elon Musk fucked if Trump doesn't win? And he went through this. It's really good, V. I'll send it to you. He went through this long list, and we forget how garbagey this guy is. Like he really, I mean, he's got control of what's his I always want to call it
SpaceX,
Spacegate.
SpaceX,
Yeah, SpaceX, which
all
has
the satellites
Starlink, all the
too.
satellites. These guys, I mean, the NASA's concerned. They're super concerned. I do love that he's actually going to have to show up in court tomorrow for his shenanigans with Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
And
because he didn't the other day, and they were not happy with him.
yeah. And they're trying to get it to the federal level because he thinks if Trump comes in, he's just going to get him to do that. Again, let's talk about the courts. Let's talk about Supreme Court. Do you want to rant a little bit?
Well, I do. I mean, I have a lot to say about that, but I understand that V has to hop off at 7 p.m. So I
didn't
want
see
to
that.
I want to hear a wrap up of V.
Oh,
Give us
honey,
our
thank you for
marching
being here.
orders for the next 2 days so that we can continue to be good advocates. And also, what are we doing Wednesday?
So, yeah, I want to wrap up and just say a couple quick things.
And Andy,
So,
thanks for catching that. V, absolutely, honey. You've
yeah,
been so wonderful to jump in.
tomorrow is Monday. What I would recommend and what we've been doing for the last 20,000 cycles here in Virginia is that we spend Monday calling everybody.
Okay.
Call everybody in your phone.
Okay.
Particularly if they are in a swing state. And you don't have to talk long. Did you vote? Okay, you did. Okay, nice talking to you. I'll talk to you after the election.
Mm-hmm.
Did you vote? Oh, no, I don't like any of them. They're both full of crap. Well, you need to vote.
Mm-hmm. And here's where you go. And now I will put the links in there as well too. And I'll be honest with you, everybody, including both of you. If you get somebody that's like, I'm not sure, like, literally send them to me. I will get on the phone with them and I will go through their ballot. I will go through Blue Voter Guide ballot with them. I don't care. I got time.
Yeah.
I got time. But
I mean, that's how critical this is.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of the reasons I was angry on Sunday or whenever we were at the press conference is because people are still undecided. People were still undecided on Saturday or Sunday whenever we did that press conference for voter suppression and voter intimidation, voter protection. And they were like, no. You're not deciding what you're going to have for dinner.
Yeah.
You're deciding who's going to be the next president of the most powerful nation on the planet. And everyone needs to be involved. And I'll say it to anyone. If you don't vote, don't follow me on social media. Nope. I don't know you anymore.
Nope. It used to be obviously, MAGA people. I don't truck with you. I don't want to know if you have the information to know you are voting for a dictator. That is what you're voting for, and the things that will get people killed. But also, if you don't vote, I don't want to. Yeah, don't tell me because it's not going to turn out well for you. You don't want any of this smoke, right?
if you're not a white, male, wealthy landowner,
legacy wealth,
he doesn't like you. How about that?
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah,
Obama
so
was kicking
there you
ass
go.
today on
Yeah.
all of what you just said, Fee. Absolutely. Yeah. And it was all about, and if
And
that doesn't move you,
if God forbid, if he gets back in there and he gets to choose some more judges, we're done.
yeah, no.
We're
Yeah,
done.
and yep, and thank you, Eileen. People need to look. We talked about that, about the authoritative info on judges too. Which groups approve of them staying and which don't. Marginalized groups and opinions matter. Absolutely, that is. I mean, and that's what I was going to mention as well too. Not only voting, but down ballot, down ballot. We
Down
have
ballot.
to take control again. If you look and this thing with Jamie Raskin, they go in a really great detail about how much got done when Democrats are in office. You may not like all of it, then get involved, right? Show up at city council meetings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Show up at these different things. Oh, Kristen says her 14-year-old keeps it real by telling grown-ups she wants to be able to vote in 4 years. Yeah, and if they don't vote now, they may not be able to. Thank you, Kristen. That's so smart. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
V, thank you, darling. I know you got to get something to eat. Thank you
Bye,
for popping in with us.
ladies. Love you all. Thank
Love you, honey.
everyone.
Thank you, V.
Love
Thank you for
you.
everything you've done. You've inspired so many people,
You really
including
have.
me,
I hope
deeply with
so.
your
I hope
advocacy.
so. Thank you so much.
You
See
want
you
to
all.
talk to me. Mwah. Love you. Woo. Yeah. Jinx. You had you said we're saying to Eileen, and I will post. She's V, the super connector, everywhere. So, but I'll post links in here as well too. Are they from the Federalist Society? Right? Exactly.
The
Yeah.
judges, yeah.
Yeah, they scare me, and I know that I did love in this one that we showed with Mark Elias and Brian Tyler Cohen and Jamie Raskin when he asked each of them, what's your thing, if you could wave a magic wand and have something come down the
Right.
pike. And I know he was definitely talking about expanding the courts.
Supreme Court, absolutely.
Yeah,
And the appellate
close it up.
courts.
Yes, I didn't realize. He's like, there's so many cases. This is this Mark Elias that aren't getting eyeballs because the Supreme Court only sees 70 to 80 cases a year, but they're just inundated with requests for it. So, yeah, I mean that would speed up. That's speeding up justice.
But the other thing we have to remember too is something simple like weather alerts.
Well, yes, you said that. Let's go through your list real quick, which was just so wonderful. These are the things that are
that are on the line.
that
Hey,
are
if
on
you
the
don't
line.
think they're not tracking your periods, okay, for those who still have periods or about to start getting periods, if you have
Yep.
daughters,
Yeah.
they can track, they can find those ads about being pulled over, are no fooling around.
Yeah, I love this. You said we're about rights to birth control, pregnancy care, elder care, affordable care, citizenship, IVF, period privacy, education, weather alerts, and the freedom to love who you love. That's on the
I
line. Andy, what
know.
a great point too. Eileen, we so agree about these judicial candidates are really, really scary, and people are not paying attention. They're not showing up to the polls prepared.
Yeah, that's right. And fortunately, there are appointed federal judges that Biden has done a terrific job at.
Yeah. Yes.
And more than anybody.
And that's what it was. That's what I did, honey, is when for Colorado, I made sure to look to see who so they are appointed, but you can vote to say if they stay in office. Right.
Right.
So I looked and I found one that had been put in place by our Republican governor, I don't know, 20 years ago. And I'm like, get out.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
as of October 31st, under Biden, he's confirmed 213 Article 3 judges, one associate justice, 44 judges for the United States Courts of Appeal, 166 judges for the United States District Courts, and 2 judges for the United States Court of International Trade. So, what I was going to talk about before V left, Mia, was just this wonderful combination of joyful warrior that we have with Kamala Harris and with Tim Walz, but also with Kamala. You've seen her with those mainstream corporate media interviews where she has turned on them and said, boom, you could tell, with all due respect, Your Honor, you can feel the years and the tough skin that she has in grilling someone right back. and not having a problem with that level, given her prosecutorial experience. And so, we're all fingers crossed that she does something. And the guys were talking about this as well, with the attorney general under her watch.
Oh God, I can't wait. Merrick Garland, I'm sorry, bro, but you got to go.
Sleep at the wheel.
Yeah, you've been napping and cautious, and I'm sure you've got your reasons. Somebody pointed out on one of the things we watched that Harris has actually been in all three branches of the government.
Yay!
I mean, think about that. Yeah, I mean, she's been
executive,
right?
judicial,
Mhm.
and then the Senate.
Yeah, in the Senate, exactly, which I absolutely love. It's a great point. Yeah, is she perfect? No. Real quick, I just looked up the Trump thing. It said DJT stock sudden crash wipes out 2.4 billion from his wealth. He lose so he
in the last 6 months, right?
No, this was 2 days ago.
No way.
Yep, top stories. Go look up how much is Trump's stock dropped, and it says Donald Trump's net worth slumps by 1.9 billion amid DJT stock plunge. So it's that. So it's between like Fortune, CBS, but it's between 2.4 and 1.9 billion that his net worth has dropped because of this. So
I couldn't be happier. But again, he's going to be in jail, or he's going to go to a country like Saudi Arabia.
Yep, he really is. Here's some really great comments. Christopher says Trump cares for minorities as long as they are cutting his lawn, holding his doors open, cooking and serving his food, and not in any position of power. You are damn right. And unless they are submissive to his administration, which is what's going on. I mean, the biggest point being, this border package, this bipartisan border package that he just basically said, do not support that. This is going to be my talking point. And they didn't, but they love to bring it up. Everything that they do, every accusation, for the most part, is some form of
well, it's Heil Hitler, it's fascism,
admission.
And that, America is for Americans comment that Stephen.
Oh, that's Stephen Miller.
I'm from the dark side of everything.
Oh, man.
Miller.
What did it say he looks like?
So creepy.
Chet said he looks like Goebbels.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, like, if in fact, it was so funny because I brought up to Chet, and I think I tweeted, if Goebbels could be reincarnated, he did it with Stephen. And then sure enough, Rick Wilson said it in a much more eloquent way.
Sure.
The same thing. It's just, but what we're talking about, and I think this is why women have just had enough. Not it was just the reverse. Hi, Randy. But also just this Christo-fascist stuff where, look, the man knows best. He's providing you a good life, working very hard. Now you should be grateful for him. Now get over there into the corner and be quiet, or take care of the kids, or, all of that. I think that we're seeing a wave of women. I mean, exit poll after exit poll is showing us this. And then the woohoo moment of Iowa being a bellwether of good news. Again, we are so cautiously optimistic because of what happened in 2016, but also we know the shenanigans that can go on now. We're all no longer naive of what can happen. And I just got so much more confidence, though, listening to Mark Elias from the Democracy Docket. Go check it out, everyone. Send money if you can. His attorneys are fighting every single day. They're the ones who knocked all those court cases down that happened after 2020. And he continues to fight voter suppression like the democracy warrior he is.
He really does. Now, one thing I hesitate to share, but I know you watched it as well too, and this is what got me waking up, what I say, nauseously. Hold on, Daniel Goldman.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
my
right.
Favorite thing. Where have I been? My stepmother's like, "What do you mean you don't know?" She's like, "Daniel Goldman, I love him." So he's from New York. So I'm gonna post a link here as well. It's about a 20-minute show. This guy really kind of lays it on the line what the possibilities are that Trump and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson were intimating about last Sunday, which is we've got a little surprise for you.
Yeah, the 12th Amendment.
The 12th Amendment, yeah. And, what they want to do to really mess up, it just basically like get their way and say, nope, we've won, and I can't explain it in great detail, but I would really encourage you to go watch this as well, and I'll post a link here too. Thinking as we start to wrap up that
Yeah.
we had a wonderful list of people that were really down ballot, folks that were really cheering for. Do you want to go through your list of folks that you want us to all follow and really?
I'd have to go find my messages to you.
Okay, I know. I was gonna say,
Yeah,
they're right.
certainly Tammy Baldwin.
And she's out of.
I hold on. Let me just get everything so that I don't give incorrect information because I have so many. And yeah, she's Wisconsin.
Yep.
She's really important. And of course, we want to get rid of Josh Hawley in Missouri. So we want Lucas Coons, right? Coons.
Kunz, yes. And if you're not,
Kunce. Yeah.
Kunce. And then if you don't remember Josh Hawley, he's the one that did this on January 6th. And then you get the video of him running out of the building after the, they didn't care who he was. They were chasing him. Yeah. So Lucas Coons. Mm-hmm.
And Debbie, DMP, down in Florida, running against Rick Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Love her.
Yes, she is. Gosh, that guy. I'm Debbie Murcasol, Mucarsel Powell. She's running against Rick Scott. You just mentioned that. Rick Scott, by the way, like literally was like, oh, these late term abortions. She's like, this is not a thing, sir. Stop saying it. Stop being dumb.
So good.
Whitney Fox in Florida.
Wow, is she? And again, I just love these folks. And I know it's my optimistic nature, everyone. But wow, have some really amazing people risen up due to the horrific conditions over the last 9 years to really become justice warriors.
They really have, honey. Thank you for all that. We have Dan Osborne that you mentioned Dan Osborne, I think, in one of these.
Yes, it's so important. And I have to go find my notes to you.
Oh, I got it. Colin Allred running against Flood Cruz, right?
Yeah, terrible. Yeah. And
John Tester.
Yep. Up in Montana.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sherrod.
Right. Brown in Ohio.
Mm-hmm. And I have two more.
Jonathan Nez out of Arizona, or is he Nevada? No, he's Arizona.
I'm not sure. I wasn't familiar. That's why I was like, give me all your favorite names. You always pop those in. Katrina Christensen in North Dakota.
I mean, who knew North Dakota could be on the play? I also want to just take a moment, and there was this wonderful video that I sent you from Instagram with the woman saying, how are we going to celebrate? Are we doing barbecues, tailgaters? Are we, what are we going to do? Yeah. Is it like from now until inauguration day? How are we celebrating? Because again, we are Democrats. We do tend to wring our hands and do a lot of, oh my God. But that's because the stakes are so frigging high right now. Yeah. But I do want to take a moment and think about the celebration when it all, and you and I both know you've got your political punch list, your punch list for democracy, or the democracy punch list, whatever you and Chet are going to call it. So important of what we have to deal with. But we do need to take a moment to celebrate when Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are elected. And we have turned the page on a really dark time in our country. We're still going to go through some tough times, but
we are. Basically, we need to get from now. Oh, thank you, Kristen. Ruben Gallego.
Yes, Ruben is doing so well, right, Kristen? Yeah. So exciting.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful.
What a wonderful man.
Yeah.
What a wonderful human.
He really
Arizona deserves him.
Yep, they do.
No wishy-washy Seneca there, boy.
Yeah, he's not playing around. Well, and I agree. I think we'll need to take some time, take a breath once we figure out, all the stats and the kind of the breakdown of everything, which may take a little bit, and then take a deep breath because we'll see what happens between now and January 6th and then January 20th.
Right. And then I want everybody to go to Protect the Vote or find, where the election protection pages, and know that the minute you are in line voting, That's it. Nobody can kick you out. If for some reason your ballot doesn't make it, get a paper ballot. Whatever happens, you make a mistake, get another ballot. You're in line. Your vote counts. There are hotlines that we can give you. I can put a link into here for a hotline. We can put up some memes for that, but there's no reason to not vote. And once you're there, we understand it is a huge sacrifice for many places for you to stand in line. I will text you and make you laugh. I'll do voice, with you, whatever it takes to help support you through that. I'll buy you an audiobook, whatever you need. Just got to get it. Oh, Jasmine.
Yes, of course. Thank you, love. Yes. Jasmine, protect her at all costs too. Here's what it's interesting. When you type in protectthevote.org, the first thing that pops up is the Heritage Foundation. Take the election fraud survey, fighting against voter fraud. If y'all don't know who the Heritage Foundation, these are the garbage individuals behind the authors of Project 2025. We haven't even said that yet because I don't even want to give that any air right now. That's right. But you need to be aware of it. I know you are. The second one is protectthevote.com. Republicans across the country are fighting to make voting safe and secure in 2024. Do y'all even know what those words mean? They don't.
No, they don't.
RNC poll watcher principles. They've got this in here. Anyway.
Oh my God. Well, I guess you just do the hotline numbers and you'll be fine.
Yeah. And vote.org. But, basically, as Andy just said too, like really important to know, is it provisionary ballots? But honestly, I really do think, please go to the first one that we pulled up. I will vote. I mean, that is just, that one is just so comprehensive. I just absolutely love it. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for hanging in. We went an hour and some odd change, right? Hour and 15.
This is the shortest time we've ever gone on a live, Mia.
Really? Yeah. This is super truncated, but
that's because we had a guest with V.
Yeah. V was offsetting us too with all of her good knowledge. I'm so glad she got to come on here as well. So not sure when we'll come back on, but just again, if you are talking to someone and you just feel overwhelmed with encouraging them, honestly, just say, my friend Mia will walk you through the ballot, and message me. You can message me here on Facebook. Okay.
It's never too late, never too early. And just also let us know if you're watching this on the replay in the comments that you voted, who you talked to. We just need to get 3 other people each and make sure they vote. It is a numbers game right now. It's not the electoral vote. It's the numbers game. And it's so important in the swell of voting. So good luck. And thank you, Mia, for everything you do every single day out there as such a strong advocate for the future of mankind, womankind, humankind, all of it in one big bundle. Them, their kind. It's just so important. You have such a wonderful voice and you have such passion for helping people move forward in this direction. So
you encourage me. You encourage me every day. Hey, tell everybody about your podcast real quick.
Oh, don't be caged by your age, where we shatter those age-related expectations and stereotypes through delicious conversations with folks who are thriving after 65. It's all about representation. If you can see it, you can be it. And let me tell you, the 40 and 50-year-olds are cheering wildly, knowing that the best is yet to come. 60s, 70s, and 80s, and 90s. If you have the privilege of aging, you are going to rock it. Watch and listen to Don't Be Caged by Your Age.
Man, you have got that down. It's so good. When she says 60s, 70s, and 80s, and 90s, she's not talking about music.
1960s, 70s.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Music that we love.
It is just inspirational to see these people. Thank you very much, Mia, for that shout out.
Yes, absolutely. Please go. I just popped the link in here too.
We're grateful too, Kristen. We remember you with all sorts of fond memories. Absolutely.
10, 12 years ago, my love. It's so good to see you on here too. You're really into Kristen's also doing some really good things. And you know what? Everybody that's on here, they're talking it up. And we love
you. Christopher, I can't get enough of that photo right there. See that photo, the big smooch?
I know. And I'm like, oh, that's me.
Dang, dude.
I know, right? It really makes me happy. Woo!
And Mia, can I just tell everybody how wonderful it was to have you stay with us? And we did a Chris stickle because he couldn't make it, but now we have a Mia stickle in our home, which is a photo of Mia on a stick, and we take her with us and we have conversations with her. We warm up her coffee as if she's still with us because it was such an impactful and wonderful visit. Thank you so much, Mia, for coming to the Lion's Den and hanging with us.
Gosh, I mean, let me bounce it back to you because I just showed up and was just feeling like the queen of Sheba, but then also the conversation. And so, get some people in your life that like we have for each other. I really encourage that as well too. Get people that you can have these conversations with, like
Right.
Andy and I and Chet were able to do. And yeah, and then Kristen, you may not know this, but that was the first time we'd actually physically met in all the time that we knew each other. So yeah, it was
12
pretty-
years online, Kristen, we'd never hurled, never
Yeah.
hugged in real life.
You remember that one, Hurl?
Oh my God. And if folks, if you haven't had a chance to watch the Seneca Project's incredible video on women and the history of women voting and where we've come in, it's just such a celebratory video that has gone viral on women. It will just lift you up because women really are going to save the day on Tuesday.
We are. We really are. But I'll tell you, everybody's got to pile in because a lot of us, everybody's getting tired.
There's a lot of men who are there because for their daughters, their wives, their mothers, their sisters, their aunts, their nieces.
Oh my gosh.
It's so wonderful to see. You men are so amazing. So amazing. Christopher Cunningham.
Yeah, he does. He really does. And Chet too, our darling Chet. All right, y'all. We're going to close this out. We love you. Thank you for tuning in.
Ciao.
Bye.